Pastor Mike was only a boy, a thin, quiet boy in the dusty town of Abba. His Bible was old. The pages looked like dry leaves. But his dreams were big, too big for the small room he slept in. At 17, Mike was already calling himself man of God. He built a tiny church with planks that bent like tired bones. The roof was old zinc full of holes. When it rained, people stayed far away. When the sun shone, the place was hot like firewood stove. Nobody came. Every Sunday, he arranged chairs, 10 plastic ones. Only the wind sat on them. Still, he preached loud and bold. He shouted prayers into the empty space. The neighbors passed by. Some laughed, some shook their heads. One man said, "This boy is wasting his life." Another joked, "Even his shadow will not say amen." Children called him pastor of empty benches. They ran around the church teasing him like market goats. But one person believed in him. Just one, his mother, Mama Grace. She was not a soft woman. Her face was hard like a grinding stone, but her heart was warm like afternoon sun. She sold yam by the roadside. Every kubo she made, she saved part for Mike. She didn't miss morning prayer, not even one. Every night when Mike came back from preaching to empty chairs, she would clean his feet and say, "Don't stop. Your star is hiding now, but it will shine." One Sunday night, Mike sat outside the church. His eyes were low, his hands were dry, his hope was bending. "Mama," he said quietly, "I am tired." Mama Grace came out of the kitchen, wiping her hands on her wrapper. She sat beside him and looked up at the sky. "Mike," she said, "this world does not reward clean hands. It rewards people who know how to enter deep waters." He looked at her confused. She touched his shoulder and said, "If you follow me tonight, your life will never be the same." That night they didn't carry anything. No bag, no Bible, only feet and faith. They walked into the forest. The path was narrow. The trees were tall and dark. The wind whispered secrets. Owls cried. The moon hid behind clouds. They kept walking. Then they reached it. The shrine. Bones hung from the roof, like bitter fruit. Fire burned low in a clay pot. Skulls sat in the corner. The air was thick like it was breathing. A man sat on a mat made of leopard skin. His eyes were like still water, quiet but deep. His name was Bagbo. He did not smile. He looked at Mike and said, "If you speak of these, your tongue will rot, and your mother will die. Do you still want power?" Mama Grace looked at Mike. She didn't speak. She only nodded. Mike did not say a word, but his silence was loud, and that was his answer. The next morning, the air in Agbo was quiet. But something had changed. Something deep. Bagbo Tenku had given Mike a gift, one that didn't shine, but had power. It was a white handkerchief, clean, software, but dangerous. He told Mike, "Every Sunday, take 7 white chickens, wipe each one with this cloth, from head to tail gently. Then give them away. Never eat them. Never sell them. The power is not in the chicken. The power is in the cloth." Mike listened like a child. He didn't ask questions. He nodded. Bagborenko continued, "Touch anyone with this handkerchief after prayer, and their body will obey." That Sunday, the church was still quiet. Only 5 people came. They didn't expect much, just wanted to see what the boy would say again. Mike stood at the front. His hands did not shake. His voice was loud like thunder. "I declare," he shouted, "that any sickness, any pain must bow before this altar today." People looked at each other. One man whispered, "He has started again." Then Mike called a woman from the back. Her name was Mama Kim. She had a bent back. She walked like a tired broom. Everyone in the village knew her. She used to sit by the junction with her walking stick. "Come forward," Mike said. She limped to the altar. Mike held the handkerchief. He touched her back. "Be healed," he cried. 3 long seconds passed. The wind stopped. Even the birds went quiet. Then Mama Kim screamed. Her bones cracked. Her back straightened. Her walking stick fell. She stood tall like a tree that had just been watered. People gasped. One woman covered her mouth. A child dropped his biscuit. But someone from the crowd said, "This is trick." They planned it. They wanted proof. So they brought another person, a man named Papa Ibe. He had been blind for more than 20 years. His eyes looked like glass. He couldn't see his own hand. They pushed him forward. "Try this one," they said. "Heal him and we will believe." Mike stood still. He took a deep breath. He walked close. He lifted the handkerchief, and with a voice like thunder, he said, "Let your eyes open." Silence. Then Papa Ib shouted, "I can see. I can see," he cried, holding his face. "Where are my children?" The crowd broke into noise. Some clapped, some screamed, some ran outside to call more people. But no one asked about the handkerchief. No one noticed it. It was still in Mike's hand, white software and full of secrets. The news flew like a bird without wings. From house to house, from street to street, people whispered it in their kitchens, in the market, by the stream. That pastor boy, he made a blind man see. He touched Mama Kay and her back straightened. "It's real. Oh, go and see for yourself." The next Sunday, the small church was full. Not 5 people, not 10. 15 sat, 20 stood. Some peeped through the window. Then came more. Crutches dropped one after the other. Women who had cried for years came forward, wiping tears again, this time from joy. "My womb has opened," one shouted. "I dreamt of 3 children, and now my stomach is round." Another said, "A man who had not walked for 7 years stood up by himself. Slowly, step by step, then faster. Then he ran to the front, like someone chasing fire." The old wooden church could no longer hold the people. The floor shook from singing. The zinc roof cried when rain fell. Still they stayed. Still they came. One rich man named Chief Ibuka was healed of something strange. No one knew what it was. But the next Sunday he came dancing. He smiled wide and said, "Pastor, take this land. Build something bigger." Pastor Mike smiled. He took the land. That same week, the name of the church changed. No more Living Fire Assembly. It became Fire Spring Revival Ministries. They made big signboards. Pastor's face was on them, shining and smiling. The words below said, "Where fire falls, people started coming from far towns, from Erie, from Warri, even from Ghana." His bank account grew. The money came like rain, from offerings, from gifts, from men in suits who cried when he laid hands on them. Big men came. They didn't walk in proud. They knelt down before him. Some called him Papa. Others called him Daddy Fire. He no longer begged to pray for families. Now governors called him. Celebrities sent gifts. Women came with babies, saying, "You're the reason this child is alive." The city that once passed him by now stopped for him. The road to his church was full every Sunday. And Mike, he stood tall, his robe long, his smile wide, his handkerchief still white. But Pastor Mike was not satisfied. He wanted more. He wanted power that could shake the whole world. He wanted his name on every tongue. He wanted enemies to bow without fight. So one night when the moon was low and the road was quiet, he left the city. No driver, no lights, only him and the road. He walked into the forest again. The trees still whispered. The shrine was still there. The bones still hung. The fire still burned. Bagbo Tenku sat on the same mat, his eyes still cold, his voice deep like a drum in a cave. Mike knelt. "I want more," he said. "More power, more fire. I want to silence every voice that speaks against me." Bagborenko looked at him for a long time. Then he said softly, "Then bring your mother." Mike froze. His eyes shook. Bagbo did not blink. "Her blood," he said, "will crown you. Her life will lift you. That is the price." The fire in the pot danced. Mike stood up slowly. His hands trembled like dry leaves in Hamatan wind. He did not speak. He turned and walked away. The forest swallowed him again. 2 weeks passed. On Sunday morning, he stood before the church. His voice was calm. "Our dear Mama Grace has gone on a spiritual retreat," he said. "She is seeking the face of God in secret." The crowd nodded. Some clapped. Some even cried. "She is a true mother of prayer," one woman said. But Mama Grace never came back. No phone call, no letter, no goodbye. In truth, she had walked into the forest, but never returned. Her blood touched the ground. Her bones turned to powder. Her ashes mixed with camwood and oil. And the white handkerchief, it became hotter. Pastor Mike came back stronger. His words made people fall without touch. His eyes made people confess. His shadow made the sick stand up. Fire Spring grew taller than a tree. It became a mountain of signs and wonders. But under that mountain, something was buried, and it had the voice of a mother. Crowds now filled stadiums, not halls, not streets, stadiums. In Lagos, under the hot sun, people gathered like ants on sugar. Some came with sticks. Some came in wheelchairs. Some came with photos of sick people at home. Pastor Mike climbed the stage. His robe blew in the wind. His handkerchief hung from his pocket like a silent promise. He raised it. He waved it once. He shouted, "Stand up and walk." And a man who had not walked since a car accident stood up, then ran, then cried like a baby. In Benin, it was different. A woman who lived on the street, dirty madam talking to the air. She came near the crusade ground, laughing and dancing to music only she could hear. Pastor Mike saw her. He didn't touch her. He only looked at her and said, "Peace, be still." The woman fell down. She rolled on the ground. She shouted. Then silence. She opened her eyes and said, "Where am I?" The crowd screamed. Then one day, on top of a prayer mountain, heavy clouds gathered. Thunder grumbled. People started packing their bags. "Rain is coming," someone said. "Let us run," another cried. But Pastor Mike lifted his hands. "No drop shall fall here," he shouted. The clouds paused. The wind stopped. The sky stood still. And the rain went away. The people clapped. They cried. Some called him Elijah of our time. From that day, he began to sell miracle oil in small bottles. "Rub this, and your child will speak," he said. "Drink this, and your business will grow." He sold miracle water in sachets and jerry cans. "Spray it on your walls. No robber shall enter, even handkerchiefs. This one," he said, "has touched the altar of fire. Your enemies will flee." People bought and bought. People believed and believed more. In the middle of it all, he found love. Her name was Engi. She was soft-spoken, She walked like breeze. Her smile was calm, like moonlight resting on a quiet stream. She sat beside him in church, always quiet, always kind. They got married. It was a big wedding. Cameras, dancers, laughter. Soon they had 2 children, a boy and a girl. Mike smiled more now. He played with them, kissed their foreheads, called them my blessings. All seemed well. But inside the altar, where no one entered, deeper secrets slept. Secrets tied with feathers and hair. Secrets buried in calabashes. Secrets that had no rest. And they were waiting for the day the cloth would fall. The world was clapping for fire. But a new sound was rising. Another fire had started, and it was burning fast. A young man called Apostle Elijah began his own ministry, Dominion Cross Ministries. He was young, but his voice carried weight. His eyes sparkled when he preached. His hands moved like lightning. People rushed to him. The same people who once stood in Fire Spring now stood in Dominion Cross. They called him Lion of the New Season. Social media carried his name like wind carries dust. Come and see what God is doing. People typed. Videos showed the sick walking, the deaf hearing, the mad becoming calm. Pastor Mike watched quietly, but inside his heart boiled like hot oil. Jealousy sat on his chest like a stone. He clenched his fist. "Who is this small boy?" he asked one day alone in his office. The church was still full. Money was still flowing. But it wasn't enough. He wanted more. So one night he drove alone again into the forest, into the dark, into the belly of things that eat men from inside. The shrine was still breathing. Bagbotenko was still waiting. Mike knelt before him. "I want something final," he said. "Something that will shake the whole earth. Something that no other man can touch." Bagbotenko looked at him. He didn't smile. "Then bring a virgin," he said. "One who trusts you fully. One who calls you father. One who believes you carry God." Mike said nothing. But in his mind, he already knew her name. Deborah. Sweet Deborah. The lead singer. The one with the voice like honey. The one who always said, "Daddy, I am ready for any assignment God gives me." And Mike smiled, but not with joy. He smiled the way a hunter smiles when the trap has caught a deer. No one saw it coming, not the thunder, not the truck, and definitely not the truth that was about to unravel. Pastor Mike Okonkwa was on the road. He was not smiling, he was not singing, he was not praying. His face was stiff like wood. His white jeep rushed through the night like a ghost chasing time. In his hand was a white handkerchief. But not just a handkerchief, this one had red camwood on it. Oil from a dark bottle and drops of blood, fresh, not dry. It was the final piece. The last part of what he had started, the thing he must complete before the clock says midnight. Far away inside the church, deep down below the altar where no one enters, lay a girl. Her name was Deborah. Her voice was sweet, like morning birds. She was the lead singer in Pastor's church. People clapped when she sang. Some cried. She believed in the pastor. She followed him like sheep to water. He told her, "God wants to lift you higher. You are chosen." She smiled. "I am ready, Daddy." But she did not know what he really meant. She was the sacrifice, tied gently, drugged quietly, and hidden in the private prayer chamber beneath the church. She had trusted him, like others before her. What Pastor Mike didn't know was that Deborah had sent a voice note to her elder brother an hour before. "If anything happens to me, check past secret room." Now, Pastor Mike was speeding. Rain slapped the glass. The wiper danced left and right. His driver held the wheel tight. "Sir, this rain is too much," the driver said, his voice trembling. But Pastor barked, "I must return before midnight." The clock was ticking. His hands gripped the handkerchief tighter. It was warm, like it had life. He breathed fast, faster than the wind. Then it happened. A flash of light, a loud horn. A truck came from the corner like a beast let loose. The pastor's car screamed. It turned once, then again. It rolled like a stone in a child's hand. Crash, bang, snap. Glass flew like broken stars. Metal twisted like boiled broomsticks. The jeep rolled into a ditch. The rain poured harder. Then, nothing. No sound. No voice. Only water. The haki flew out of his hand. It landed in the muddy water, floating slowly like a curse, looking for a home. The red marks melted into the rain. Pastor Mike lay still, not moving, not breathing, not speaking. The road was quiet again, but something had broken. Something deep and far away. A goal was still waiting. The phone buzzed once. Deborah's brother picked it up. His eyes moved quickly across the screen. Then they stopped. The voice note played. "If anything happens to me, check past a secret room." His heart jumped. His legs started moving before his mind caught up. He did not wait. That same night, while the rain still fell, he ran to the nearest police station. "My sister is in danger," he said. "She's in the church underground." The officers looked at him. At first, they didn't believe, but something in his eyes made them move. They followed him in two vans with flashlights, with boots, with keys, and courage. They reached the church. The gates were locked. The lights were off, but the rain kept falling. They entered, they searched the office, the altar, the storeroom, nothing. Then they found a door behind the pulpit, covered with carpet, hidden like a snake under leaves. They pulled it open. A small staircase led down. The smell met them first. Dust, oil, and something else. Something not right. They stepped down, and there she was. Deborah lying on a white mat, eyes barely open, lips dry, her hands tied gently like a gift wrapped with lies. She was weak, but she was alive. They carried her out slowly, carefully. Her brother held her hand. One of the officers stayed behind. He looked around the room. His flashlight touched the walls. Books with strange writing, feathers, bones, bloodstains, jars with dark liquid, masks, hair. He stepped back. "This is not a church," he whispered. "It's a shrine." And everyone knew this was only the beginning. Deborah was safe now. She was in her brother's house, wrapped in blankets, holding hot tea. But her voice was not quiet. She told the police everything: how he called her, how he gave her the drink, how he smiled while lying. The news spread like fire in dry grass. Then more voices rose. Girls came out one by one, some with voice notes, some with tears, some with fear in their eyes. "He told me I was chosen. He said it was for spiritual growth. He said it was between me and God." They all said the same thing. Pastor Mike had tricked them. The city shook. People shouted. Some wept. Some tore down his posters. "How can this be? Is this the man that healed my daughter all this time?" It was a lie. The church could not stand. The roof trembled. The doors were shut. No drums, no singing, no offering, only silence. And in that silence, truth stood tall. It burned every lie. It swept away every secret. Fire Spring was on fire. But this time, the fire was not holy. It was judgment. Pastor Mike lay on the hospital bed, still pale, silent. Machines beat beside him like tired birds. Days passed. Doctors came. Noses checked. But he did not move. His body was there, but his soul was far. The world outside had changed. His name was no longer praised. It was whispered in fear, in shame. Then, on the seventh day, he opened his eyes. Slowly, he looked around. His lips shook. He began to cry. "I'm sorry," he said. "Please forgive me," he begged. But no one was listening. He was moved to prison. No robe, no handkerchief, just a man with chains on his hands and weight in his heart. 3 days later, he closed his eyes again. But this time, he did not open them. He died quietly in a cold cell with no one beside him. No one cried. Not the guards, not the pastors, not the people. The world moved on. The ground was quiet that morning. No one dressed in white. No choir stood to sing. A small hole was dug, a wooden coffin lowered inside it. Pastor Mike. No flowers, no crowd, no words, just a grave. Plain, lonely, unmarked. He was buried like a stranger. The same man who once raised his hands to stop rain, now lowered into dust like a forgotten name. Because no matter how high a lie climbs, no matter how many people clap, no matter how many lights shine on it, truth waits, and it always stands right at the bottom. Moral: no matter how high a lie climbs, truth waits patiently at the bottom. I hope you enjoyed the story. If so, please like the video, comment what you learned from the tale, share with friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more African folk tales just like this one. Thank you.